everybody, this is Jay here for our open source office hours. How are y'all doing today? It's a nice Thursday afternoon here in Washington. So today I'm going to be talking about sort of expanding on what I had Yuri here for on Tuesday, which is going to be exploring a little bit more into Bifrost. So, in case you weren't here last week, not last week, but earlier this week, and you really should have been because we have lots of fun. But if you weren't here on Tuesday, basically we are we're looking into Bifrost, which is an Ansible-driven way to deploy an OpenStack cluster with kind of ironic services being the center thing you want to deploy. In our case, we're not going to be trying to put anything else in there but ironic. That's just to make our lives a little easier. And so let's have a look. So one of the things I wanted to do is when Yuri did the demo here, he used the dev environment mode for demoing it, which is great for a demo. It's great as a software developer to have those kind of toolings, those kind of rapid setup. It's obviously really important. But in this case, I'm more interested in getting a demo that's more appropriate for potential production uses. So my hope here is to build a demo, and I mean, I'm not going to say that we're going to get there today. We're probably not going to get there today. But I want to build up a demo where we can have... Yeah, that's definitely not it. I want to build a demo that is going to be more like what I would feel comfortable telling someone to run in a small production environment. Just part of my exploration to figure out other ways people run ironic, because most of my experiences is when in giant like enterprise class clusters, and that certainly is not the way that everyone uses it. So let's have a look and see. So the first thing I notice is that this is for the wrong version. So let's look. We're going to try to find, sure, I'll search here. Let's look for Bifrost and Kolla. Let me see. Bifrost guide in Newton. Yeah, I don't think that's exactly what we're looking for. That's a little bit older. That search is a little bit too old there, I think. So this is interesting because I thought I had a guide for this up. I was gonna find it again so that I could show it to y'all from the start, but it sort of shows how fleeting some of this stuff can be. So I want a Bifrost install in a container. That's what I want. And I get latest install here. CentOS Stream, Ubuntu Jammy, Debian Bullseye. Yeah, this is a straight local installation. So that's not exactly what I'm looking for. So let's go back. That's not in the... no, I'm gonna create an Etherpad for some notes here. I'm just going to make a note of some things I run into here, just so I got it written down somewhere. After I'm done with this, I'll sort of take another trip through and look at what we determine might be barriers to other people who are trying to do this same thing and get it done. So that's what we're trying to do. Let's see. Bifrost install container. Interesting. This is slightly terrifying. Last published 8 years ago. Yeah, that might be something I will... I don't want any poor users to get misled by using that, as obviously it's the third different response. So I'll put a pin in that. Bifrost engine. Matrix Bifrost. That's Queens. Is it not supported at master? Let's go look at the code and see. So we're going to open dev.org, OpenStack kolla-ansible. And let's just, actually this will be easier to do from locally. Oh, hey, look at that. All right, get grep bifrost. Okay, so it definitely exists. We've got roles all over the place here. Not source deployment and bootstrapping bifrost.rst. So if this is here, let's go back to latest. And let's look and see if we can find it. Deployment and bootstrapping, Bifrost standalone ironic. Okay. So this is the actual doc I care about here. That was very difficult to find. All right. Let's make that note. So Bifrost is a set of Ansible playbooks that automates the task of deploying a base image onto a set of known hardware using ironic. Provides modular utility for one-off operating system deployment with as few operational requirements as reasonably possible. Yeah, so this is the scaled down ironic case right here then. This is an ironic installation that you can hopefully run in a container really simply and use it to provision some nodes. So this is going to be the path I'm going down, is sort of seeing what I would need to do to get this to work locally, with the understanding that I'm going to do test M stuff. I'm going to use, bare metal machines that are secretly VMs under the covers, but this is a good start. So we have control host is the host which kolla-ansible will be installed and is where the cloud's managed from. Deployment host runs the containers used to provision it. Cloud host is all the rest of the OpenStack stuff. Bare metal compute host, okay. In many cases, deploy and controlment host would be the same. Good, that's the model I want to go with. So, already installed dependency section here. Let's look at the support matrix. It looks like CentOS Stream 8, Debian Build, Open Euler. Let's go for Stream 9. And get an image of that real quick. A cloud image, and I'm just going to run it in my VM here. Get it now. That's exactly what I want to do. Thank you, my friends from CentOS. x86-64 for cloud usage. Okay, so that's downloading. So I'm going to use virt manager image install. So oh, I thought I had virt manager installed. Let's see. Sure, we'll pretend it and then I'll sudo it. Let's try that again. So let's look and see. Virt manager, yeah, create it, new VM, name and installations type. Okay, so I can tell it import existing disk image. Good. I'm sorry about this. I could have swore I had this installed. It honestly kind of weirds me out that it's not. Okay. I don't think any of that is stuff that's going to take too long. So let's run it. We'll try to get it done in time. I've got the image downloaded, so that's good. Okay. Oh, I know why I'm so confused. I usually run these virtual machines on my physical desktop, which is my streaming machine right now. So that's the reason I was very confused by it. It can't be running the VMs here. So I usually don't run VMs on this poor laptop. It's going to get beat up a little bit today, but that's fine. So let's keep on looking at what the steps are that we would have to go down in order to do this. Okay, close that. All right, 2 network interface, 8 gigs of memory and 40 gigs of disk space. I think this has... yes, that's 32. So I've got plenty of RAM I can give to this. Plenty of disk space. The whole point is I'm trying to follow the steps that someone would have to do if they didn't know anything else about it. So that's part of why you're seeing all of these other shenanigans I'm having to fight with, because it's the same thing that just anyone would do when trying to get this to work. I'm not taking no pre-set up demos here, no pre-configured stuff. It's nice to do it to get it all nice and clean in an hour, but the world's not nice and clean, and sometimes it takes a little more than an hour. So we're just gonna follow along here and see how long it takes. So we got that building, we've got that, we've got our image downloaded. We're gonna need to put dependencies on it. And installing kolla-ansible. That's interesting that it suggests you install their master release. That's actually really... I would not have necessarily expected that. The other thing we're saying here is I'm also not necessarily an expert on Ansible either. So this is sort of new stuff for me overall. I did want to say a few words about like standalone ironic. So Bifrost is often referred to as a way to deploy standalone ironic. I think that's kind of a misleading term. Most people who run a full like integrated OpenStack installation are trying to run they're trying to run a large amount of services meant to kind of culminate in an OpenStack server create command. Sort of that Nova API, the VMs are the endpoint. And that is the bread and butter of OpenStack. That's what a lot of people have used OpenStack for a long time, but that's not necessarily the only way to use it. And really, when we talk about standalone ironic, we're not talking about ironic all by itself. We're talking about a vision of an OpenStack installation that's fully integrated, but that maybe the end user wants to end up with an Ironic API at the end instead of a Nova API. That what they really care about is that bare metal provisioning capability that Ironic can give you. And a lot of people who want that capability don't want to give up some of the sacrifices you have to make in order to use it under Nova. I mean, for instance, I know that at places I've worked, it's been considered like a feature, not a bug, that you could go talk to Ironic and say, provision that specific server right there, instead of saying, provision me a bare metal server that's of this flavor, and not being able to dictate when or where. Because, I mean, hardware is a very particular, very finicky kind of thing, right? Like, it's not it's not something that, well, my words left me there. Sorry, I saw too much of the green screen output going by. Oh, it's not something that you can abstract away, right? Like, if you're provisioning two machines to be backups for each other, then you're going to want them in separate cabinets. You might have a cabinet that has a special super fast networking drop you use for your storage servers. Like, it gets hard to abstract away hardware if you're really aiming for a very good, when you're aiming for a very good, like, detailed infrastructural thing. So that's kind of it. And I think we might work a little bit at the PTG this cycle to clean up that language, because it's kind of unnecessarily inflammatory to call Ironic standalone when, you know, for instance, if you're running Ironic and you want RBAC support, even if you're running Bifrost, you're going to install Keystone right beside it. Like, you can do basic auth without Keystone, but not much else. That right now, a lot of people might want to use Bifrost in a more complex networking environment, and for us to do that, we're going to have to integrate it with Neutron. And so I'm kind of going down this path for this specific reason. And kind of the use case I have in mind when I'm setting up this demo is, if someone came to me and they said, I have a single point of presence that I'm spinning up with a few dozen servers, like let's say 4 dozen servers, let's say 48 servers to provision, and the majority of those are going to be used for a single purpose, like, you know, like powering a Kubernetes cluster or, you know, running a very similar image, then you can use a tool like Bifrost in this setup to go splash the OS across all of them. And I mean, you're giving up some of the features of Ironic, because Ironic's happy to lifecycle manage your machines. It's happy to clean up after tenant's done with them and things like that, but not everyone needs it for that. So you can kind of pick and choose again. And those simpler use cases are what we're going to really have to keep on top of, I think, to keep a handle on what Ironic does. But okay, so I've got Virt Manager installed, which is ironic that the OpenStack guy is libvirt-d. I feel like there's some level of irony to the OpenStack guy using Virt Manager to provision VMs, but I mean, this is my local machine, so I'm not going to run OpenStack on my local machine. Oh, import an image is not necessarily what I want. Okay, so I'm going to want this to be like 60. This is going to be Bifrost test. Let's do 10-ish gigs of RAM. Let's do 4 CPUs. Okay, so I did something wrong here, clearly. Okay. Perfect. This is actually what I want here. Can I look at configuration for this guest? Actually, you know what? It'll be easier just to start off with a delete there. Yeah, and delete that. So var libbird images is the place where it matters. So I'm going to... Okay, so I've got that. Now I can try to run something like this. Okay, so now if I go in here and I create a new one, import an existing disk image, that one, say it's CentOS Stream 9, got it, forward, again, like what is, I'll just do it right. Oh God, I feel so stupid. I cannot believe I typed that into a calculator. That's fine. Just end of a long day. That can happen. You forget that multiplication by 10 is easy. Yep, virtual network default, finish. All right, do I have CentOS Stream 9 going then now? Let's see. Okay. I have no idea what the password is. Okay, CentOS. Looks like this tool is going to help me out. I should have never used a cloud image. I knew that that was going to be trouble because cloud images expect you to have a lot of stuff going that I don't have going right now. But that's fine. I'm making progress anyway. So what this is telling me is that this package libguestfs I install is essentially only in Gentoo's unstable package list, which unstable is not as scary as it sounds like it is. It just is like a slightly lower bar. It means maybe fewer people use it. So like, whereas generally with Gentoo, you can assume big time that if you install something, it's going to work 100% of the time. With the the tilde arch packages or the unstable packages, it's you're just talking very, very slight chance of there being something going on. And this is sort of a standard thing you might have to do if you're using Gentoo, where you're trying to install a single package that is unstable, and you sort of have to run down the dependency tree and authorize them to install the versions of it needs. This is maybe one of the more painful things about running Gentoo sometimes, but it is the price you pay when you mix stable and unstable, which is what I'm doing. Oh, the fact that, wait, I thought I already did that. I thought I did that. Did I typo it? File. Yeah, it's not fire utils, it's file utils. There we go. But one of the nice things that just about every package in the world exists in Gentoo, and if not, I'm at least capable of making it. So I like using it. There are times like this when you sort of hit a wall, and it's unfortunate that it's not as quick as I would like. Okay, it looks like I might have to Alright, this is unfortunate, but I think I'm going to have to do this. Let's see what that does. It's going to make a lot of other stuff angry at me. I don't really care about OCaml, so like it's not that bad that I'm pulling in all the newer versions of OCaml things, because I don't know what it would break, and I don't know that I necessarily care as long as this libgefstfs thing works. Okay, so this might seem more awful than it is. Is this on a bunch of things, 84 things, but most of these are just going to be downloading and extracting. So hopefully that makes it run pretty quick. This is super unfortunate. There's got to be another option for doing this. So while that's running, I'm going to keep looking for other answers. Yeah, they're saying to use guestfs tools as well. So I guess the answer is just to wait, but holy cow, I can't believe it needed this much crap just to do this. Vert customize. Interesting. Some of these tools I don't think existed back when I did this stuff a little bit more frequently. Okay, so basically they only enable the CentOS user if you have an SSH key injected, which I'm not doing because, at least as far as I'm aware, Vert Manager doesn't support metadata service of any kind, because it's just running a QEMU VM. So let's go back and let's look at the Bifrost stuff and see what we're going to have to do. Once we get this up and running, we'll install the stuff. We'll go through there. Install it using pip. Let's look at this globals and passwords and install deps. The next step is to prepare an inventory file. This is like an Ansible inventory, which I don't know a lot about Ansible inventory. But I mean, they're just YAML. It can't be too bad, can it? Knock on wood. But either way, the point is to at least get this thing going if we can. Oh, building the images is not necessarily included in this? I wonder if this is something I can do locally, because if so, this would be awesome. I'd rather do it this way if I can. So let's see. Git clone, git at github.com, OpenStack, kolla. Let's see. It'd be really cool if this works. I mean, I expect it to, right? Like the software is oh no. Okay, so okay, so I'm just gonna create my own VM then. Virtual NVM, VM bin activate, pip install, kolla. All right, kolla build bifrost. Unable to connect to, oh. Okay. Okay. It's interesting that the docs say that by default it builds things on a CentOS stream image and then it's using a Quay.io image of Rocky Linux. That's actually, it's not ideal. I mean, I don't necessarily mind. Rocky Linux, if you're not familiar with it, is I would venture to say it's a reimagining of like the original CentOS, where it really is just a recompiled rel, but yeah, that running. Let's over here. We've got got that thing still going for our file system for our local repo, but I'm really glad to do the build myself here because it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder if there's a simpler version of this demo to do that doesn't involve Ansible at all, that just involves kolla. Because if I end up with a good container, then what do? I don't know. I guess this is also probably taking a little bit longer because I'm building at the same time too. This is probably going to end up being a failed demo. I got to find the right amount of prep to target. This was clearly not enough prep as I'm a little bit behind on doing my own setup to make this stuff work. But I'm doing what I can, trying to get something working here for y'all before we go. is this doing? I guess if it's doing OpenStack base, that might make sense that it needs OpenStack base, and then it'll put Bifrost inside it. Maybe. I'm wondering if I might have called it incorrectly in such a way that it's like building all of the things instead of just the things I want. But at this point, might as well just hang on. I'm along for the ride. That's right. It's Jay's open source watch green text fly by the screen hours. I don't mind that though. This is kind of exciting to me. Like, I've never messed with Kolla. I am extremely impressed that it is pip install and run Kolla build, and hopefully I'll get container images out the other end. It never really ceases to amaze me how nice some of the stuff is in OpenStack that I haven't used before, because it's weird to say it's like comfortable. It follows the same patterns of ironic stuff or pieces I'm more familiar with. But I also get this this really fun experience of seeing it with new stuff. So it's great. And it does look like maybe I'm doing the right thing, as it's now moving on to calling Bifrost base, which seems to be a little bit more along the lines of what we're aiming for. Need to get like the streamers who have the system resources. I need to have like a temperature gauge for my laptop up here. Let's see. I don't actually think it'll be too bad. I'm making jokes, but I don't think it'll be too bad. Yeah, actually, it's not using that much disk, not using that much CPU at all. Definitely is warm though, no doubt about that. Makes sense. We're to the ones where I don't think it's doing that much building. It's just downloading and extracting files. This is actually, I'm super excited. If this just is able to work out of Kolla and we're able to simplify it down, it's going to be super exciting, because I love the idea of Bifrost in a container as like a tool that you can use to provision stuff. It's like, give someone a curl pipe to bash that will provision all the machines hooked up off their ETH1 or something. Would be pretty cool. I mean, I hate the curl pipe to bash pattern. I think that's a crappy pattern. But I'm just talking about it in general in terms of how to approach it. It should be that simple. We should have it where it is that easy to do something like that. And that's what I'm working toward. I mean, quite frankly, that's what other people have already been working toward that I am discovering right now. That's mainly what I'm gunning for. I'm just surprised it's taken a little bit longer than I would have expected, but I mean, it's not unreasonable. This is just a setup thing, so it's not like in the world. You know what? I realized I'm not sure I've ever seen any OCaml code in my life. What does OCaml look like? Interesting. This is very weird looking. Your language looks strange, buddy. The other thing I take great joy in watching this output are these excellent escapes. How many times do you think it would take you to get the correct escape sequence for one of those variables? That is just absolutely disgusting. I'm just stunned. This thing is just chugging. Sorry about that. Forgot to silence my phone before I got online today. What is this? Bifrost base, now Bifrost deploy. Local FS target ones. Oh. Didn't leave anything running. Got a whole bunch of containers ready to go. Don't necessarily know what to do from here, and this is almost done. So I'm debating whether I should keep going down my previous path or go down this. I'm going to keep going down my previous path, I think. Because the other one is going to be me exploring and trying to figure stuff out. This is supposed to be a little bit more in a box. It should just work. So now the app, I've been waiting 83 other packages to install so that I can finally get this one done. Come on. You're so close there, buddy. Come on now. I thought you were about to be done. So let's see. Vert. What was that I'm running here? Vert set password. Is that it? Vert customize? Yeah, that was it. Vert custom. Why is Google giving me results that don't even include the thing that I want? Guest FS tools. All right. Here we go. People move stuff around. That is like running Gen 2. Sometimes you get hit by like these name changes faster than someone else does, and of course, I gotta. Yeah, there we go. And it's just one thing that has to run. It's not gonna be a giant pain. I will probably have my VM set up and ready to go for my Tuesday session where we'll actually run the commands and see how this thing goes. So we got that far. It's a little bit frustrating that I can't stream directly from my Linux desktop anymore, because that's sort of what threw me here, is I made assumptions that were not great. All right. Now I should be able to hit play here and finally log into this machine. Didn't think I was going to leave it on the password that I set that you all could see, did I? I know it's behind an app, but I also know at some point I'm not going to do that and not going to get access to my stuff. So let's see. I want to see what users I have created. There are no real users. Okay. So let's create one. This is like, there we go. Well, let's see. Okay. Okay, you are correct there, Mr. CentOS. I did not add myself to Sudoers. Okay, so gpassword dash j to wheel. That's better. Okay. Why does CentOS Stream 9 have no repos? This is incredibly frustrating. Like, how is it too much to expect to be able to just log into a machine and be able to run DNF? So, like, is this just not useful as a generic operating system anymore? I really have no idea what's going on. Yeah, I'm not running your little command dude if I can't see it. I don't remember how. Okay, there we go. So does CentOS Stream 9 require a subscription now? All right, I'm going to figure this out off the stream because obviously not making much progress here. I am stunned at how unusable that CentOS Stream 9 image was out of the box. Like, I've heard people complain about the new CentOS Stream. I've only interacted with it through like CI and things like that, and I didn't love the fact that it's sort of like our CI is churning out from under us. But like, wow, this is not very usable. I feel like I just had half my day. I had like half an hour of my time wasted by CentOS. So not really happy. When I come back on Tuesday, we'll start back from here. I'll have a VM of some operating system running. I'll make sure all the prerequisites are installed and we're ready to go. Right now, I'm just stunned. Like, I should have just been able to start running commands, and I couldn't. And that's very sad to me. So, well, if you tuned in here, thanks for tuning in. I'm sorry this, a little bit concerning to me that, that I wasn't able to get that done. But, I will close out. Like I said, I'll find some working operating system and get restarted on it. But for now, if you're watching this, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe. Hit the like button. I'm really at the point now where really just a single person hitting the subscribe button is meaningful. So please do that. And I'd like to thank. And I actually have on the stream now a little bit of an indicator for us of G Research Open Source Software. They're my employer. They let me come out here and broadcast my job sometimes, and sometimes you see me floundering like today. So I always appreciate that. I appreciate that opportunity. And I'll see y'all on Tuesday, hopefully with a more successful version of the same topic. So thanks everyone, and have a good weekend.